Let me show you something. Let me show you something.
Welcome everybody to Cousins Gymnasium on the campus of Tufts University for a very exciting non-conference matchup in Division III men's basketball. The Tufts Jumbos, undefeated at 5-0, will host the St. Joseph Blue Jays out of West Hartford, Connecticut, the number 3 ranked team in the country. Welcome everybody to coverage brought to you by JumboCast. I'm Andrew Howe, joined alongside Scott Blatt for what again will be a very exciting matchup. Tufts obviously most toughest opponent that they've so far faced this year.
Absolutely. You know, they faced up against they're probably their hardest opponent thus far was Babson. They've received votes in the preseason D3 hoops poll, but nothing like the Blue Jays, who are undefeated 4-0. They've knocked off the number 3 team. They've knocked off the number 21 team. They are legitimate, and this will be the toughest test to date for the Jumbos.
Yeah, St. Joe's coming in ranked number 3 in the D3hoops.com poll. Obviously started off ranked at 13, but played against 2 really tough opponents last week in the Small Schools Classic and really showed their stuff, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, I mean, the number 3 team going into that Classic was the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh, and the Blue Jays held them to 44 points. I mean, to hold the number 3 team in the nation, I mean, no longer number 3, but at the time the number 3 team to 44 points is one impressive feat. This team is averaging well in the low 50s as far as points given up. They haven't allowed anyone to get above 65 points, and they're dominating the steals with almost over 9 steals a game. They are a force to be reckoned with on the defensive end.
But on the other side, the offense for the Tufts Jumbos has certainly been exceptional, especially over the last couple of games. Dropped 100 points against MIT on top of a very solid 76-39 victory over Framingham State, Scott. I mean, the Jumbos also are going to come here to play against, again, what is going to be their toughest competition all year.
Absolutely. They're shooting 53% on the season, 36% from 3. Both very improved from this time last year when the Jumbos were really limping into games with 1 or 2 wins, 1-5, 2-5. This is a very different season, 5-0. They've been paced by Dylan Thorner, who had a team-high 15 points in the game against Framingham State. Also, Truman Gettings added a key 10 points, and in fact, 14 Jumbos got on the board. That's what happens when you go into the break leading 42-14.
I mean, just exceptional from minute 1, and they're going to look to continue that again today. These 2 teams are 1-1 historically against each other. Of course, St. Joseph's a very new program, entering, I believe, their 5th season of competition. The Jumbos falling to them last year, of course, pretty injured, but now looking to make sure that they are still on the winning side of things this time around tonight. We're going to send it down to Ty Court to listen to the national anthem and hear the starting lineups for the Jumbos versus the Blue Jays.
University here in Medford, Massachusetts for tonight's Division III NCAA men's basketball matchup featuring the 3rd-ranked Blue Jays of the University of St. Joseph and your Tufts Jumbos. Fans out this time, I'd like to ask everyone to please rise. If able, remove your caps and face the flag as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Moments away from tip-off down here in Cousins Gymnasium. The Jumbos, of course, Scott, are going to have to play some really good basketball to go toe-to-toe with the number 3 ranked team in the country. But Of course, there are some weaknesses here with the St. Joseph squad, and for the Jumbos to win, they're going to have to play quick, and they're going to have to play clean.
Absolutely, and clean is what I want to focus on. I mean, this team, one thing we've noted about St. Joseph's is they're actually very undersized, right? Their starting forwards both clock in at 6'4", and so you're not going to, the Jumbos with Truman Gettings, with Bobby Stewart, even with Dylan Thorner at 6'6", they're going to have the height advantage. So one thing that St. Joe's does is they steal the ball a lot. They force 21 turnovers on per game. The Jumbos have struggled a bit. They are losing the turnover margin on average, so you can't allow that team to get out and run. They are quick, they're undersized, but that means they're also shifty. And so in the fast break, in the transition, they might have the Jumbos number. The best thing the Jumbos can do is prevent that and then use their size to their advantage, primarily on the glass. The Jumbos are out rebounding teams by about 10 rebounds per game. St. Joe's is losing that by 3. That's an advantage, Jumbos. They have to utilize that.
Yeah, across the Blue Jays lineup, no player standing at taller than 6'6". The Jumbos start 2 players that are above that mark, in Truman Gettings and Bobby Stewart. And Dylan Thorner, of course, at that 6'6" mark as well. They're going to have to learn how to play down low, which, of course, is not necessarily the strategy that they have gone through the entirety of the season. But when you're faced with a mismatch like this in terms of the size department, that is certainly something that the Jumbos will have to look for, especially early on in this game.
Absolutely, and one thing benefit about playing down low is you can draw fouls, especially against undersized competition. If you have that height advantage, you can often bait people into fouls. And overall, that's something the Jumbos do need to be careful on, especially on the defensive end. Last game for St. Joe's, when they played Illinois Wesleyan, they got to the charity stripe 30 times. 30 times, they got 23 points off that. And for the Jumbos, they've gone a bit lucky over the last 2 games. Their opponents have shot under 41% from the free throw line. They can't expect that to continue, and they're not going to be able to keep getting away with it. They got to keep the fouls, especially shooting, to a minimum.
Yeah, St. Joe's, I think, visiting the line a lot in some of their previous matchups, and they know how to draw the fouls, even if they don't necessarily have that size. So it's about being shifty for the Blue Jays and knowing when to draw contact at the right time, which, of course, you said is something that the Jumbos have struggled with so far early on in this season. Of course, got 2 coaches, Glenn Miller, formerly at UConn, with St. Joseph's old coach in Jim Calhoun, who has won 3 national championships in Division I. Up on the opposite side, of course, Brandon Linton in his 2nd full competitive season. So 2 young coaches, each with different pedigrees, but now looking to, again, keep their team undefeated here tonight. There's Truman Gettings against Jalen Samuels to tip off this matchup of undefeated teams, as Carson Cohen will control the tip. Stewart on the high post. Tries to get it back around to Cohen. He makes a drive towards the inside, loses the handle, and it's off his knee. It's going the other way.
Yeah, look, they immediately went to Stewart in the high post on Jake Sullivan to try to exploit that, but Jake Sullivan held his own, forced that pass out, and nothing doing for the Jumbos early on.
Sullivan, Samuels, Martin, Mitchell, and O'Neal are the 5 on the floor for the Blue Jays. Jalen Samuels gets a hold on it, down to the inside. And Mitchell will kick. Extra feed. Martin thought about a 3. Instead, will pull out from 15. Shot no good. Rebounded by Gettings, and the Jumbos will control it.
Good job by Gettings. Again, the Jumbos can do that. They have the height, so they can simply reach over people, and that's exactly what Truman Gettings did there.
Cohen is guarded by the 6'5" O'Neal. Aronson goes for a drive, pull up from mid-range, short. Rebounded by Martin, and Aronson unable to take that one away. Samuels all the way from 3-point territory, goes for the drive, layup no good. Contact was made, no whistle called. Thorner over to Cohen. His 3, no good. Gettings fights for the rebound inside, and it's staying right here.
That's exactly what you got to do. I mean, again, one benefit that the Jumbos have with height is if Truman Gettings gets inside position there, St. Joseph's, if they're not sending 2 or 3 people to box him out, then he's going to get that rebound. You saw it right there. What you can do, you can bait smaller defenders into fouls in those situations.
Gettings averaging 9.5 points entering tonight has been a crucial factor down low. Some contact made, but a corner 3 for Dylan Thorner is short. Rebounded by Martin. Samuels playing on that outside right now as they work Mitchell across the baseline. Mitchell guarded by Cohen. Kick out to O'Neal. He looks to drive. 8 seconds to shoot. Sullivan gets inside, guarded by Getting. Shot no good. As a very strong defensive effort from both teams here in the first 2 minutes. Cohen works for a cross, pushes off, goes in with the shifty lay, and again, unable to connect. Martin with the kick. Sullivan for 3. And now the Jumbos get to work in the fast break. Gettings with the lay-in, and the first points will go the Jumbos' way.
Outstanding pass up to Gettings there. Gettings was trailing, but he had the step on his defender. Great job leading him.
Martin. A nice move, but Aronson was there defensively. But now a strip. They'll go right into Samuels, who flushes it home.
It was a great play by Aronson, but again, this team is great at steals. 9.5 per game. You're going to get caught, and Aronson did there, and it led to a 2-on-1 transition.
Samuels listed as a forward, averaging 1.3 assists, entering 1.3 steals, entering today. Stewart tried to power through, and again, no good. The Blue Jays now will control it. Sullivan drives past the defender, finds the open man, and Samuels will lay it in for 2.
That's what the Blue Jays have to do is, with their speed, with their shiftiness, they need to get the Jumbos bigger defenders caught in switches, caught out of position. They were able to do that with Bobby Stewart there, and they got a step.
Aronson. Over to Thorner. He's fouled. Blocking called against Mitchell. So right now, on the St. Joseph side, you're seeing them work 5 out. They're really fluid with their ball movement. And when you have 2 bigs on the floor in Stewart and Gettings for the Jumbos, a little bit hard for them to get things to go in defensively. Thorner with 15 to shoot. Kick out to Gettings in the corner. 1 dribble in, tries to work inside. And Cohen will be able to get a hand of it. 6 to shoot. Stewart on the pick and roll will find a shot from about 10 feet out. Rimming out. Fighting for the rebound is Gettings, but it's going the other way.
Yeah, I still like the Jumbo's shot selection so far. You had that Thorner corner 3. You had that Carson Cohen layup that he missed. I think that Bobby Stewart was a good shot there. He had space. He might have had someone crashing on the weak side, but I think that's a good shot. I still think the strategy is good. Play through your bigs because you're going to have that height advantage no matter what personnel you roll out on the floor. Shots haven't fallen yet, but I don't think the strategy is to blame. Early game jitters more likely.
McLaren and Henry have entered for the Jumbos. Chalon Martin, the senior out of Hartford, Connecticut, in for the Blue Jays. Martin is guarded by Henry, who has been exceptional on the defensive end. Samuels works his way across the baseline. They find the kick. Martin for 3 is good, and it's a 7-2 lead for St. Joseph.
Yeah, you'll live with that shot. Henry was playing off Martin there, but he actually recovered, and then Martin shot it anyways. Those shots, some of them are going to go in, but you live with that.
Gettings. Over to Aronson. Thought about a switch. They'll kick to McLaren. And Aronson loses control of it. Another steal for St. Joseph. Looking to move in transition. Martin goes behind the back. They kick back to Martin. 2 Martins on the court right now as JC and Chalon. Samuels. No good. Thorner with the board. Now the Jumbos maybe looking to work click. McLaren goes for the 3 in the corner, and it rims out again.
McLaren is a good shooter, but he struggled so far this season, shooting only 25% from 3.
Quick move inside, and Jake Sullivan's able to get one down.
That was a really tough finish. His body was essentially under the hoop to go straight into the air without using the glass, kind of to fool to fool Gettings there is a great finish and a tough one at that.
9-2 Blue Jays. McLaren, corner 3 from the opposite side is good. Casey McLaren onto the board with the triple. Samuels tries to find a cutting O'Neal, but the pass is broken up. Now Henry on the move, works his way across the sideline all the way to the cup, but it's rejected by Samuels. Blue Jays looking to move. J.C. Martin with the kick. O'Neal thought about a three. Instead will drive to the cup. The shot is good, and the foul.
First of all, what a block on the defensive end by Samuels. And I just want to say, I mean, the body language we've used from Samuels and the coaching staff really speaks to the mentality of the Blue Jays. You know, you had a block on that side, you get an and one, and what the coaching staff is doing is they're actually talking to Samuels right now and essentially yelling at him for not getting back. He kind of, basks in the glory. It was a great block, but that is their focus. You know, they are tough, and that's going to be the emphasis no matter what you do. You have to play good fundamental basketball. You can see it. You can see it defensively. You can see it offensively, why they've been so good this season. It starts with the coaching staff.
O'Neal converts at the line, shooting 88% on the season. And a blocking foul called there. Jalen Martin tried to get in front of Henry, but looks like his feet were in motion as the contact was made.
St. Joseph foul charge number 4, Jalen Martin. That's his first team.
The coaching staff is none too happy about that, but Martin's feet were not set. He was still shifting. I mean, it's good defensive intensity, but that is definitely a blocking foul, even if coaches do not agree with it, as we can see on the sideline right now.
Henry looking for a fast drive. Kick out to McLaren in the corner. Over to Deturley, to Champion, who have both entered the game for the Jumbos. Cross-court pass. McLaren, same spot, same result. Another three for Casey McLaren.
Jumbos have done a great job in the last couple of possessions, catching the Blue Jays, crashing to try to double-team the bigs. But if they do that too early, it leaves the perimeter wide open.
Fell drop to Jalen Martin. Working inside is Malcolm Ely, and he's able to lay it in. So second unit's out for both of these teams now, as we have elapsed 7 minutes in this first half. Deturley inside to Gettings, who's working the low post now, fighting two defenders and is able to power it down.
You know, it doesn't matter if you have two defenders if both of them can't even reach your hands. I mean, that's what Gettings needs to realize. Great job setting up position there, and even if he has two people crashing on him, they can't reach him. He can finish right over them.
Ely with a kick. Extra feed. And Sullivan now on across the perimeter. Jalen Martin guarded by Champion. One dribble, corner three, splash.
Second one we've seen like that in that corner. Very impressive finish with a hand in his face from Champion.
Henry with ball handling duties here with this second unit. Deturley with a kick. Champion, who will try his hand from the outside. Air ball. Stepping onto the sideline there. Some new substitutions. Stewart will re-enter the game, as well as number 11, Alec Kinder.
Alec Kinder leading the Blue Jays in rebounds, despite averaging about 14 minutes a game or so. It's not very high. He averages under 6 rebounds a game, but that does lead the team. Partially because he's slightly taller than everyone else, clocking in at 6'6".
So some extra size now for the Blue Jays. They find themselves up 7 with 12 minutes to go in the first half. Fell drop. To the inside now. McLaren has the assignment against Kinder. And the turnaround is good. Alec Kinder making his presence known right off the bat.
Absolutely impressive finish by Kinder. He's one of the few Blue Jays who can use his size to his advantage. He matches up well with McLaren and just got a little space and finished inside.
Deturley guarded by O'Neal, screened by Stewart, and he knows he got him. That's an offensive foul going the other way.
Jumbo's personal foul charge number 21, Bobby Stewart, his first, team's third.
Jumbos haven't had their shots fall too much, apart from, of course, Casey McLaren, who has nailed 2 threes. St. Joseph will look to crack a double-digit lead here. Kinder will pull up from right outside the elbow, and that will go as well.
When you're the tallest player on the court for your team, to be able to do that is unbelievable for spacing. Kinder has shown he can score from pretty much anywhere within the three-point line. That's going to open a lot of opportunities for St. Joseph's going forward.
Champion on the drive, breezes right past Martin, but unable to connect on the layup.
Champion's got to find an outlet there. 2 people on him. He doesn't have the height. Find someone on the perimeter.
Pass broken up. Champion will now control in transition for the Jumbos. Working on that left side. Kick out. Henry driving to the middle and falls down to the ground, as that will be a foul against St. Joseph. They're going to call it against Ely.
It's the same thing there, actually. I think Champion did a better job finding the outlet. But I think at the same time, Henry needs to similarly find an outlet. He got bailed out by the foul, but he was trying to get through 2 defenders on the perimeter. There's another one waiting for him. I'd like to see his head up just a little more and maybe try to kick it out to the weak side.
Champion will inbound. DeTurley with the cut. Stewart has an open lane. Will get through 2 people who tried to jump up to block, but still unable to lay it home. Jonathan Box entering the first time today for the Blue Jays, cutting inside, and Kinder has 6 points in this first half.
Kinder is very versatile with his height, and he's really giving the Jumbos problems. The last 3 or 4 baskets have all come because the Jumbos have struggled to properly guard him.
Jumbos need something to connect here on the offensive end. Henry working on the dribble. They're going to kick out. McLaren has been good from outside, but not that time. Halfway done here with the first half between the University of St. Joseph and Tufts. J.C. Martin guarded by Henry. Works off of a Kinder screen. Will lob it up. And now Kinder has to work. Kick out to Feldrop. Kinder now guarded by Stewart. Gets some space. And barely unable to get that shot down. Was on the rim for an eternity. DeTurley cross-court pass. Champion working across the baseline. Extra feed. Stewart with another kick. DeTurley with a wide open 3. No good.
Jumbos are getting better shots off the kicks, but they just can't get them to fall. At this point, you just have to have patience and hope they will eventually go down.
And Box just mishandle on that pass. Substitutions for the Jumbos, Aronson and the freshman James Marakis entering the game for the first time. Dylan Thorner will also see action as Champion, McLaren, and DeTurley all will get a breather. Also seeing Samuels enter the game again for the Blue Jays. Jumbo's looking to just have something click. Any combination of players. Marakis on the drive. Extra feed. Aronson to Henry. 12 to shoot. Aronson with the pull-up is good. Jumbo's relying on that outside shot, and they've been able to find 3 threes here in this first half. Still a 10-point game in favor of St. Joseph. Samuels, guarded by Thorner. Over to J.C. Martin. And a bit of a mispass there, trying to get it over to his teammate. Thorner falls to the ground. They're going to blow a whistle, and the foul is called against the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it looks like incidental contact. They'll get him for a trip. Better job by Tufts offensively. I think, like you mentioned, it's kind of interesting that despite having that height advantage, they've hit 3 threes. That's where almost, more than half of their points have come from. I don't think they should give up just yet on the inside game. It just feels like they have the opportunities. It's been leading to a lot of good kickouts, generating those threes that you speak about. You just wish a couple more of those inside shots, especially, Bobby Stewart getting a couple looks there. You wish those had fallen. You'd probably be looking at a much different game. You'd feeling much different about the Jumbos offense if they had.
Stewart 0 for 3 from the field so far tonight. Marakis has the ball tipped. Thorner will handle it with 20 to shoot. Stewart not a threat from out there. One dribble and a kick back out to Cohen. Aronson guarded by Martin. Works the handles, cutting inside. Cohen, extra feed. This time Stewart will be able to hammer it home.
I thought they missed Stewart off the pick and roll earlier. They didn't miss him there. Good job getting him involved in the play and using his height.
A cutting inside was Jackson Jr. And now Cohen with the bounce pass is picked off by Kinder.
Good idea, but you can't have a bounce pass there through traffic. Needed it in the air.
Mitchell for 3. Long. Foul on the ground. It's staying right here.
They get Stewart. That's going to be his second. I think they did.
And in comes Gettings. Stewart has had some extensive playing time here in this first half, and you would imagine that Truman Gettings will likely be the one to finish this first half for Tufts. No team has called a timeout in this first half. They're just letting it run.
So I think both teams are happy with the way they're playing. I mean, obviously St. Joseph's up 8. Can't really complain about that. And I think Tufts has done a fairly solid job offensively with their scheme. They just haven't had a lot of shots to fall.
Mitchell, heavily contested jumper, will rim out. And Martin tried to get a handle of that one, was looking, refs looking to communicate on who touched that last, and it are going to rule that Martin was the one to do it.
That was just a clean strip right there. I didn't see anything indicating otherwise. The Jumbos need to be aware at all points, at all areas throughout the floor, that the St. Joseph's, the Blue Jays, are really going to be more like Hawks, and they're going to take that ball from you. And basically, as soon as you grab it, they're on the lookout. That's the second or third time you've seen a strip like that, really when the Jumbos weren't suspecting anyone to be there.
Birds of prey. Thorner works for the drive, breezes right past Mitchell and up and in for 2.
And that play is made by Truman Gettings. He boxes out Kinder and ices him out from rotating, allows a one-on-one matchup that Thorner can win easily.
Thorner, the leading scorer for the Jumbos, over 15 points per contest. Kinder to Jackson Jr. The mismatch against Gettings will pull up. And a loose ball foul called, I believe, against Kinder as Carson Cohen took the contact.
That's one benefit to the Jumbos, again, of having that height all around. Carson Cohen, not necessarily the one that's always going for the rebound you think would be Truman Gettings, but on the switch there, it ends up Carson Cohen on Kinder. But because Carson Cohen can match up pretty well with Kinder, Kinder has to overreact and generates contact. And he, I believe, comes out of the game after that. Yes, he does.
Some solid minutes out of the bench big. Cohen is guarded by Martin. Pick up a Gettings screen. Over to Maracus now. 14 to shoot. Maracus on the drive. Gathered contact, no whistle, but the result of a basket nonetheless.
Really impressive finish. If you can go one-on-one against your man, that's going to go well.
Mitchell with a kick. Sullivan from the outside goes for a drive, extra feed, and Samuels is able to almost dunk it home. Got to hit the gym. Thorner on the cross, over to Gettings on the inside. He'll convert for 2.
It looked ugly, but it was really well done by Thorner to get around his man and then find Gettings, who is definitely going to win that matchup against a smaller defender.
J.C. Martin, tough defense played by Aronson, but now finally be able to get through. Jackson Jr. with a wide open 3 is short as Gettings collects the board. 4-point game all of a sudden for the Jumbos. They've done their work defensively, and finally some of those shots are starting to fall. Maracus working on the inside. Falls down, but they're going to call another personal, this time against Jake Sullivan.
And they'll be at the 1-and-1, I believe.
St. Joseph's foul charge number 24, Jake Sullivan.
Truman Gettings and Casey McLaren both leading the way for the Jumbos right now with 6 points.
And Andrew, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Jumbos, again, doesn't look like they're doing anything differently all of a sudden. It's just that the shots are falling. They've they haven't kind of blown the easy ducks inside. They've got a couple layups to go, and they've played pretty good defense. Buoyed by a couple misses that we saw Jackson Jr. missing that big 3 there. But, the Jumbos like you said, there's no need to call a timeout.
Maracus short on the 1-and-1, but we'll be able to regain possession. They'll kick out Thorner, corner 3, rimming in and out as Jackson Jr. with the board. J.C. Martin, oh, what a move, but it's denied! Aronson with the rejection. Tyler Aronson sitting at 6'1", able to swat that one out of the air.
Yeah, well, he has 4 inches on Martin, so.
5.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Feldrapp has re-entered the game. Jackson Jr. over to Samuels. He'll look to drive against Thorner. Contact made. They're going to call the foul on the ground against Truman Gettings.
Jumbos foul charge number 25, Truman Gettings, his second. Team's 5th.
That is the 5th team foul for the Jumbos this half. Martin looked for a bounce pass in, as they're going to do it over again from the other side of the net.
I believe Aronson got a piece of that. Aronson's been very good on the ball so far.
They look to go inside again. Chalin Martin with a kick. Jackson on the left side gets the contact and finishes and 1.
Yeah, I want to. You need Truman Gettings to be a little more square there. It felt he wasn't necessarily out of position, but when When the ball was released, you could see he wasn't square to the ball handler. That's going to cut, and then any contact there, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt, especially when a smaller guy is going up against the bigger guy. There's always going to be contact. You need to be very careful about how you're positioned, and I don't think Gettings had the positioning there.
Delshawn Jackson Jr., listed as a senior, has scored 1,000 points with the Blue Jays and will convert on that three-point play. In a different role off the bench this season, has been relatively effective in the 3 games he has played so far. Cutting inside, Cohen with the extra pass. McLaren over to Aronson. His three-pointer, no good. McLaren able to get a hold of that one and regain possession for the Jumbos. Marakis is guarded by Feldrap with 5 minutes to go. Aronson. Marakis on the drive, spin move, layup is good. The freshman, James Marakis, looking natural here in this first year.
And he's come in and looked great on the inside, creating a lot of problems to the Blue Jays defense. And the Blue Jays, again, tried to get out on the fast break or generate their own fast break off a made bucket. They couldn't do it. Great job by the Jumbos getting back and stunting that before it could even develop.
28-23. Aronson, as Jackson's able to get a hand on it. Cohen will be able to stop in just a little bit. Layup no good. Second chance no as well. Foul called on the ground.
Coach Lynn not happy with his team. I honestly thought they could have gotten Aronson on the first shot. Didn't looked like he leaned into the shooter at first, but I think St. Joseph probably deserves a foul after that. It's just another great play on the ball, another steal. Aronson doesn't like the call. Talking to the referee about it, but I think there definitely deserves to be a foul at some point. Every time it felt like the Jumbos were about to wrestle momentum over the last few minutes. You know, it's been either a careless turnover, missed shot, you know, these little things that will come back to bite you against such a well-polished team.
Jalen Martin able to convert both of the 1-and-1. Lead back up to 7 for the Blue Jays in what has been a very scrappy first half. Marakis is guarded by Feldrap again behind the back kick. Thorner for 3 is good.
That play is made by Marakis. He draws 2 defenders. One peels off Thorner, and that's a mistake. Don't leave Thorner open from 3. That's what they did. Jumbos take the free 3 points.
Dylan Thorner entering today 46% from beyond the arc. Martin to Martin. They work inside. Feldrap is guarded by Cohen. That's a mismatch, but the small guard is able to get a hand on it. O'Neal for 3 in the corner, no good. Offensive rebound over to Samuels, and a loose ball foul called against the Jumbos.
Yeah, I think that's going to be Marakis. And, you know, the Jumbos did a great job defensively. Carson Cohen, great play. I mean, loose ball gets to a somewhat open shooter, not much you can do. They need to do a better job of crashing the glass. You can't be giving up offensive rebounds to this team, period. They do not have the height to justify getting really any at this point.
Theo Henry entering the game. Had 24 points, career high against MIT. 10 of 12 shooting. 1-and-1, first shot no good. And the defensive rebound unable to be collected. Ball will stay right here on the Blue Jays side.
Shot clock issue, I believe.
And believe it or not, both teams still have not called that crucial timeout.
Because, again, I think both teams are pretty happy with the way they're playing. I think the Jumbos would have more reason just because of those turnovers, but thankfully they really haven't strung too many together. It's been few and far. I mean, they've been killer, but they haven't really put you out of the game yet.
O'Neal off of the switch. Give and go. O'Neal will get it again, guarded by McLaren. Another kick. Feldrap for 3. No good. Rebounded by Henry.
You'll live with that shot.
3 minutes to go here in the first half. Jumbos looking to cut the lead to 2 or 1, depending on shot selection. Marakis looked inside instead. Throwing it to Henry. Henry across the baseline, gets through his man, and will lay it up and in. Theo Henry shifty on the inside.
Absolutely, and great jump stop there to make sure he didn't travel and create that space.
Samuels on the drive. McLaren getting a hand on it. And now the Jumbos on the run. Thorner on a 2 versus 1 situation. Draws contact, but Cohen is able to collect the board. Thorner for three. He stepped on the line. It's going the other way.
Thought Thorner might have generated some contact there. I think he's looking for it. I thought there was a foul on that shot he had, but he won't get the benefit of the doubt. Unfortunate, he steps out of bounds, and Jumbos will take a 2-point deficit into the first timeout.
Timeout by the St. Joseph Blue Jays. Today, student organizations and clubs, both here at Tufts and on campuses across the world, are celebrating the 11th annual Giving Tuesday. Over 5,500 generous donors have contributed over $2.5 million, supporting things like Tufts Athletics, the SMFA, and the Department of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Justice. Visit give.tufts.edu to support your local Jumbo community today. What do you think about that video that we had out there? We look pretty good, don't we?
We did. Well, I wasn't in there, but some of us, you included, as well as our current director, Henry Stahl, looks pretty fresh on that video.
The slow-mo cam is what did it for me. I just, I was able to show my stuff a little
bit.
bit.
Andrew, I believe you were in one of the main Tufts Giving Tuesday.
Give.tufts.edu to see the video and or to donate to your local Jumbo community. 2-point game here in Cousins Gymnasium. The number 3 ranked team in St. Joseph are being challenged here in this first half by the Jumbos. O'Neal, one dribble and a pull-up three, and Maracas collects the board.
Great job by Maracas. I mean, I hadn't really seen before. He can jump pretty high. He skied above everyone there to get that board.
Cohen, kick out. Henry, three-pointer, off the mark.
I think the Jumbo's going to look for a better shot there.
J.C. Martin makes Maracas shuffle his feet a little bit. The layup rimming just out. And now things not really converting on the offensive end for St. Joseph. Maracas keeps his dribble off of the contact from Feldrop. Will look to drive again. Kick out to Thorner. He'll go across the baseline. And the reverse lay-in is good. The Jumbos have tied the game at 30.
Great job by Thorner. The slight hesitation gets the defender to lag behind him and creates space on the strong side.
Samuels guarded by McLaren. Oh, nice look inside. The cutting Feldrop shot pass was broken up by Henry, and the Jumbos will get possession.
It really feels like fortunes have switched here, doesn't it, Andrew, where the Jumbos are all of a sudden converting all their opportunities that they're getting on the offensive end. They're forcing uncharacteristic turnovers from the Blue Jays, who only average 13 per game. They usually win the turnover battle by 8 on average. And, and the Blue Jays themselves have not hit too many shots, and it's gone right back into it. And again, either team, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything wrong per se. I mean, obviously you don't want to see those turnovers, but that's kind of just, it happens, right? You learn from it, you move on. But nothing systemic where you point at that and you say, this is a problem. I think both teams have really played their game. The biggest thing I think is the Jumbos have really gotten the ball movement going. They're playing a lot of inside out, a lot of drives, kicks, and that's been very, very good for them, using their height to their advantage, knowing that the Blue Jays are going to adjust and crash when they see a taller ball handler with the ball.
I mean, the one thing that we were noticing in terms of statistically speaking for the Blue Jays is, of course, they're playing against good opponents, but they haven't really racked on the points at the same level the Jumbos had, and right now you can almost see them playing to the level of their competition a little bit. This is a very similar pace in terms of scoring against some of the opponents like Wisconsin Oshkosh. The only difference is that the Jumbos have been able to match them bucket for bucket.
Right, the Jumbos average about 78 points per game. The Blue Jays average 65. They only give up low 50 points per game. You're clearly ahead of that pace right now, like you mentioned. And it's not like the Jumbos are hitting miracle balls. I mean, they had a couple contested shots, but they've been generating a lot of things inside over the last few minutes, a lot of good 2-point layups. That's really been the key for them. Not shooting the 3-ball all that well, but getting those opportunities inside off the drive.
90 seconds to go in this first half. The Jumbos could look to take their first lead against the University of St. Joseph. Thorner on the high post is guarded by O'Neal. Spin move in the inside. Layup is good. Dylan Thorner has given the Jumbos the lead. Martin looking to drive, draws contact, blocking foul called. The Jumbos were looking for a charge, but I think Theo Henry had a foot in the restricted area.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Just based on where he landed. Couldn't see it with all the bodies in the way, but it did look like he was inside. Good defense, though, and I mean, it's kind of a bailout if you're St. Joseph. I mean, that shot never had a chance. Just kind of unfortunate for Theo Henry that he was a couple inches, what we believe to be inside the restricted area.
J.C. Martin, the senior out of Hartford, Connecticut, averaging 13 points entering tonight.
A 60% free throw shooter, 9 for 15 on the season. We'll get one right there.
He's actually yet to score today. That was his first points of the evening. Also 0 assists. Led Division 3 as a whole with 7.5 assists per game in the 2019-20 season, or 2018-19 season. And is unable to connect on that second free throw attempt. Fight on the interior. Kinder working for a jump ball. The Jumbos really fighting every step of the way.
You know, Kinder's done he's really brought the energy when he's been in. We've seen it. His versatility as being tall but also pretty agile has generated a lot of confusion. The Jumbos' defensive scheme, I think they're going to wipe the floor here.
Don't want any late half slippage going on here.
No, we do not. But yeah, Kinder has really given a lot of good energy minutes when he's been in. He's been getting rebounds. He brings the height. He leads St. Joseph's in rebounds despite his playing less minutes than most of the other regulars. And you see it there again. I mean, getting that offensive board off the missed free throw. Very, very impressive. And then continuing to fight for it.
Martin to Kinder. Less than a minute to play. Samuel's guarded by Aronson. Bit of a mismatch there. Kick out. Ely. Crossover. Elbow jumper is good.
Yeah, it looks like Cohen was expecting more contact than there was. I think he was you can see the way he reacted. He was almost expecting that elbow to be extended and try to draw that offensive foul, but that didn't happen, and so he ended up being off balance, allowed space to be created, and easy too. Not sure what the change is here.
I believe the possession arrow just swapped back off after that jump ball. Like the referee is just going to let them play on. St. Joseph running a full court press as Cohen will be able to collect it. Going up for the drive, but it's denied. But that's a goaltend on the way down. 2 points over back to the Jumbos as Carson Cohen will get onto the board.
Oh, that was close. That was really close. I don't think that was going down. I see why they called it, but I think the release was just so close to the rim. And you can see the coaching staff for the Blue Jays is furious.
Yeah.
They got to be careful there that they don't get themselves a technical. But it's close. I could see it either way. I mean, obviously, when you're right by that basket, it's going to look like it went down.
Looks like St. Joseph will hold for one. Jumbos will get the last shot if they're able to grab the rebound or if a shot does go down. J.C. Martin biding his time a little bit. Aronson has the assignment. Looking to retake the lead here for the Blue Jays. Crossover and a screen and a switch. Henry now guarding. Pass out. Ely thought about it. Instead, will pull up right as the shot clock expires. Offensive rebound nearly collected by Kinder, and he grabs a hold of it. 1 second left. Kinder up and in. He had a hand on it as the buzzer sounded, so the shot would be no good either way. But the Jumbos with a 34-33 lead at the end of the first half against the number 3 ranked team in the country.
Yeah, they were down 23-12 with about halfway through the game. The first half, and they went on a real run. But it didn't look like they changed anything schematically. It just that their shots started falling. They were a little cleaner with the ball, and they really locked down on the defensive end. St. Joseph is right on their pace. They average just about this per game. The difference is Tufts is way ahead of what St. Joseph's usually allows, and it's come from great ball movement. This is a Jumbos team that has a lot of scoring options. They've shown it so far.
Very well-balanced attack across both teams. Neither side has a player in the double figures mark. But it's just going to be some more well-rounded basketball here in the second half. Jumbo's looking to pull off an upset here on their home court. We'll be back in about 15 minutes with second half action between the Jumbos and the Blue Jays.
Let me show you something. Let me show you something.
And we are back live from Cousins Gymnasium on the campus of Tufts University on this broadcast presented to you by JumboCast of what has been a very hotly contested non-conference matchup here in the men's basketball scene between the University of St. Joseph and your Tufts Jumbos. Jumbos finding themselves up 1 and looking to close things out here in this second set. Andrew Howe alongside Scott Blatt here for this call of Division 3 basketball. Scott, the Jumbos playing very, very well, and again, playing to or some of the expectations that we had for them coming in, playing very clean, limiting the turnovers that St. Joseph is very keen to get.
Right, what we said is St. Joseph dominates the turnover battle. They usually lead that 20, on average, 21-13. That's +8. So far, it's even at 7-7. Steals are 5-5 even. The Jumbos aren't playing the cleanest basketball, but they're playing as clean as St. Joseph, and that's what we talked about as key. Do not allow them to dominate you on the break. Now, the one thing the Jumbos need to clean up, as we talked about, is the rebounding battle. The Jumbos have all this height, and yet St. Joseph actually leads the rebounding battle 23-18, and that's coming exclusively on the offensive end. That gap is 9-4 in favor of the Blue Jays. Can't allow offensive rebounds with such an undersized team, especially not at that margin. It's led to a 5-2 advantage in second chance points, which isn't all that crazy, but again, this should be the Jumbo strong suit. Look for them to crash the boards maybe a little heavier, especially on the defensive end. Cannot allow to be out rebounded by a smaller team like this.
They'll get a little bit of extra help again as the starters Gettings and Stewart will be on the floor to open up the second half. Stewart on that high post once again. Gettings working the baseline right now. Quick cut into Thorner, going up for the slam and falls down hard. Unable to convert there on the bucket. Samuels on the drive. Contact generated, but it looks like no whistle has been blown. 2 quick drives resulting in misses for both of these teams. Aronson over to Thorner. Jumbo's working the ball around. Cohen now guarded by Martin. Kick out. Thorner. Straightaway 3. No good. Martin behind the back. Looking to get crafty with it. Fadeaway J is no good as Stewart collects the rebound. Jumbo's now working the other way. Thorner on the handoff to Aronson. Give and go. Aronson will get 1 dribble and a shot from outside. And O'Neal collects the board.
Pretty similar start to what we saw in the first half. A lot of misses, a lot of quick offense. And, both teams, again, seem to be struggling out of the gate to find their rhythm.
Tyree Mitchell will get his hand as an outside jumper. And both sides still yet to collect a field goal here in this second half. Aronson on a drive, working off of a getting screen, tries to find a pass inside, and Stewart unable to grab it. O'Neal with the steal. Martin, quick handoff over to Samuels, who will reset for the Blue Jays.
Really impressive job by Samuels to pick that ball up. That pass.
Oh, give and go. Ryan O'Neal with the lay.
Saw a very similar setup in the first half where Ryan O'Neal got the and one on a very similar play. That's worked pretty well. O'Neal's very good at those quick cuts, especially when the paint is vacated like it was there.
A 0 battle defensively as O'Neal and Thorner will guard each other, the oversized guards. Cohen off of a Stewart screen will kick back into his forward. His layup on the left side, no good. Second chance opportunity is rebounded by Gettings. He'll get a shot up, and again, battling on the boards. Whistle is blown, and they're going to call a foul on the loose ball.
That's what we've been looking for, right, is, those possessions where you have both Stewart and Gettings in the game. You have to look inside. That's what you did there. Again, Stewart has struggled a bit to convert, but at the very least, they're getting the opportunities inside. They're generating the offensive rebounds. When you have Stewart and Gettings both in there going for the board, it's going to be virtually impossible for St. Joseph's to box them out properly, as we saw right there.
Thorner on the elbow, push off into Stewart, down low, and a whistle will be blown. And it's a jump ball. Referee saying that the Blue Jays got all ball on that one, and with the possession arrow pointed the other way.
I think it's a valid call. I didn't really see that much contact, although I'm surprised that they call a jump ball. It looked like the ball was out of his hands before Stewart landed. I actually think that's a break for the Jumbos. At the very least, they switched the possession arrow because St. Joseph's got that rebound clean.
Martin on the drive, extra fat pass to the corner. Mitchell corner jumper is good for 3.
It's exactly what the Blue Jays need to do with the Jumbos. With their 2 big set, that means they sacrifice mobility for height. Get those quick passes, off drives like that, force the bigs into rotation. It'll open up the perimeter, and we saw that right there for an easy 3.
Tyree Mitchell shot 43% from beyond the arc last year, and looking to get hot here to open up this season. St. Joseph working off of a steal. Samuels over to Mitchell. He gets past Thorner. Pull-up jumper is no good, but a foul called. Stewart is going to pick it up.
Yeah, I think the Jumbos, they started with the two big set in the first half. They didn't really generate too much off it. It seems like they're struggling with spacing again, both offensively and defensively. I wouldn't be surprised if they sub in a smaller player. We see two subs about to come in, including Theo Henry. I think they're going to go small again.
Tyree Mitchell shooting 69% from the free throw line. Stewart and Cohen will exit. Casey McLaren going to act as that 4.
Yeah, Theo Henry, smaller but a little more shiftier on the perimeter than Cohen. Really does a good job of creating his own shot. He and Aronson did a good job in that run in the first half to start to force St. Joseph's into poor switches and all that.
Contact generated there. I believe O'Neal knocked it down McLaren. The ref's not going to call a whistle.
Yeah, McLaren was not happy. He looked immediately to the ref.
Henry picks up his dribble, looking to try to find an open man. We'll get over to Thorner. 15 to shoot. Henry controls again, guarded by Martin. We'll look to drive across that left side. And again, picking up the dribble. McLaren on the perimeter. Jumbo's unable to find anything on the offensive end. Aronson has to create his own shot with 3 seconds to shoot. Wide kick out over to McLaren. Heavily contested. Jumper is good. How does that go down? Casey McLaren, my word.
That was a terrible offensive possession. The first screen, the first action on ball came with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. I cannot believe that worked out. It shouldn't have worked out, but the Jumbos will take it. That's a huge 3 by McLaren to get them on the board in the second half. Doesn't really solve any of the larger issues, which is they're not generating any offense right now. But at the very least, it stops the bleeding just a little.
And they did rule that a 3. McLaren now with its 3rd triple of the night. Martin working off of a screen. Quick ball movement over to the corner. And Mitchell drives through Thorner. Tip out on the rebound by Samuels. O'Neal will connect on the mid-range J.
Good job by Samuels. He had Theo Henry. It was a long rebound. He was going against Theo Henry on his backside, and he was good recognition to tip it right out to Samuels.
McLaren is guarded by Sullivan. Gettings on that low post, guarded by Samuels. And a strip. Martin comes away with the steal.
It's the right idea, but Gettings needs to be aware that they're going to be double teaming him with the undersized players.
Kick out. It's shooting practice. Ryan O'Neal unable to connect. Thorner now moving in transition, trying to get past 3. Blue Jays layup no good. Second chance, no. Third chance, you try again, and 2 points will go on the board for the Jumbos.
4 bodies for the Jumbos. I mean, 4 taller bodies as well. I mean, the Jumbos absolutely crashed the boards. I love the sellout there. The Blue Jays were in no position to get that rebound.
Sullivan trying to work off of a cut. Pass is broken up by Henry, and it'll stay right here.
It's a really good job by Theo Henry. And, that's one benefit of his perimeter play is he's really, really fast. He wasn't even looking for the ball there, but he had his hands in a great position, knowing that there's a potential passing lane. Ball rolls off his hands. It's because of his positioning and nothing more. But because he has that speed to be able to close, that's someone like Carson Cohen, who has size and strength, may not have the same speed. You might not see his hands on that ball.
Ely on the inbound. Jumbo's working with 5 bench pieces right now. Kinder drives inside and will lay it in.
Kinder has played outstanding today. He might be one of the Blue Jays, if not the Blue Jays' best player, even if it doesn't show up on the box score. It's just high IQ play to recognize the paint had been vacated.
Henry is guarded by Kinder. It's a bit of a mismatch. He'll look to drive. Finds Dieterle on the cut. Over to Champion now. 15 to shoot.
Poor spacing right there by Theo Henry and Dieterle.
Oh, and another steal. St. Joseph coming away with it. Ely looking to move in transition. The layup is good through 3 Jumbos.
They took Truman Gettings out to go small. I don't think Coach Linden is happy with the result. He's going to send him right back in.
A 7-point lead has opened up for St. Joseph. Dieterle look to stop and pull up from the corner. No good. Maracas jumper. No. Champion will be able to collect the offensive board and lay it in.
That's what the Jumbos need to do. That's their 3rd offensive rebound, resulting in points so far this half. That's already 2 more than it did in the first half.
Mitchell draws contact. The foul will be on the floor.
I think they're going to get... Yeah, they're going to get Champion, putting his body on it. See who they sub out here. Yep, they're going to go McLaurin to Gettings. So, again, not the biggest change, but slightly larger now, especially with Dieterle out there with McLaurin. Sorry, with McLaurin subbing out now, getting Gettings out there.
Inbound to Mitchell. He's guarded by Henry. 3 jumbos immediately come to respond. Kinder guarded by Gettings, and he gets the hook to go.
He's just so shifty. He gets that shot up so fast. He doesn't have the height advantage over Gettings, but he's able to get that shot up really fast over him. I mean, that's a tough shot. That's a tough hook that far out, almost at the free throw line, but he's been outstanding today. Truly outstanding. I believe he has 10 on the game.
Kinder, of course, leading the team in rebounds right now, but only coming in averaging 3.5 points per game. Best game was 8 points and 11 rebounds against Babson, already surpassing that total here today.
And in a play like that, there's not much Truman Gettings can do. That's good defense. You just have to hope that doesn't go in. Great pass right there.
Champion for 3. Short.
That's staying here. That's a push. Gettings got pushed in the back.
They're going to give it to Mitchell.
Yep, he definitely had his hands on Gettings, pushed him back. I think Gettings was going to get that rebound. It's a good call. No real argument for Mitchell on that one.
High intensity second half. Whistles have been blowing here in the first couple of minutes. Gettings off of the inbound will drive across the baseline. He's guarded by Kinder. The reverse lay-in is good. Truman Gettings getting some more points for the Jumbos.
Gettings with the height advantage. If he can get one-on-one on Kinder with inside position, he should score every time. It's great recognition right there.
Jalen Martin guarded by Champion. Over to Sullivan. Champion taking defensive priority right now on the ball. Fadeaway J is long. Kinder collects the offensive board. Another kick. Sullivan for 3. No good. Kinder again, just absolutely dominating the inside. He draws the whistle and he's amped up.
He has played unbelievable. The energy he's brought, but I mean, so you say some of those plays aren't going to show up on the stat sheet. Those absolutely are. I mean, he has 10 points. He's on 5 for 6 shooting on only 9 minutes so far in this game. That's 3 offensive rebounds already. He's been unbelievable.
Kinder has not yet to convert on a free throw so far this season. Now has 4 boards, as our stat sheet is updating off of that. One of 2 from the line from Alec Kinder, and it's now a 6-point Blue Jay lead.
Here comes the full court press again. Keep that defensive pressure on.
Rockets with the kick. Ditterly, pull up 3, no good.
Don't like that shot at all. Way too early in the shot clock. Ditterly is not that high of a prolific three-point shooter. There's simply no reason for that.
Oh, Jalen Martin dicing up the Jumbo offense. Might have taken a couple of extra steps. Pump fake inside. Kinder converts again.
And through contact, Champion got him either on the ball or his hand on the going up. I mean, he has been unbelievable. 13 points. I believe that leads all players in scoring.
Oh, Henry had to be careful not to dribble that ball on the half-court line, but he's able to drive right down the middle and lay it up for 2.
That was a goaltend, too. That was tipped on the way down.
Still a 6-point game. Sullivan takes it himself. He's guarded by Ditterly. Kinder on the high post now. They'll give him that long-range shot. Handoff to Mitchell. Sullivan with 8 to shoot. Ditterly guarding him. Fadeaway J. Rimming out again. And Alec Kinder again just continues to be a menace on the offensive rebounding end. And it is staying on the Blue Jay side.
Unbelievable. I mean, he is everywhere right now. It's really remarkable how good he is at getting inside position. I think the Jumbos are going to be relieved. Oh, no, he's staying in. It looks like he was walking the bench. He's still in. And I think they're going to bring in Bobby Stewart to match up with him. Honestly, probably because Stewart is the more physical, big down low. I mean, Gettings, it's hard to tell in live action, but Gettings has been consistently beat, unfortunately, down low. Kinder is getting inside position almost every play on the offensive end.
J.C. Martin over to Mitchell now. Contested J. Right in Ditterly's hands, with his hand right in his face, so he'll be able to knock it down.
So it looks like what Kinder is doing is after he hits the screen, the pick, if he's not fed on the roll, what he's doing is he's essentially checking out of the play, and he's actually just setting himself up down low, expecting a shot to come really soon. So then he gets inside position because obviously Stewart doesn't want to leave him alone and try to get position when he's so low and close to the basket. It's allowing him to get that offensive rebound. He had inside position again on that last play had it not gone in.
Henry fighting for the offensive board, and it's rejected by Kinder.
He's everywhere.
Working on both ends of the court down low. Sullivan finds finds Martin on the inside over to Mitchell. Mitchell on a kick. J.C. Martin now guarded by Champion. Will look for a drive across the left side. Kick. Mitchell for three. No good. Champion on the board. Jumbo's looking to move in transition. And a miss on the pass. Deturley unable to get to that in time. And a missed opportunity there for the Jumbos.
Yeah, Thorner sat for an extended period there. He might play the rest of the game. I think they need his offensive output right now. I mean, the Jumbos, it's not that they haven't played great offensively, but, on the defensive end especially, Kinder is just wreaking havoc on them. He's involved in every single play, whether it be setting a screen, whether getting an offensive board. Thankfully for the Jumbos, he sat down for a rest. Although he doesn't start, I would think he should get more minutes as the game progresses to its late stages.
Mitchell threw a screen, guarded by Stewart, and his hands were straight up. No whistle called. Champion on the fast break, and in with the left hand.
What a pass to get it over the trailing defender right to Champion. Really, really impressive pass. Believe that was Henry who initiated that.
Martin now working on a drive. Layup no good, and again, Champion collects the board, immediately looking to run.
Yep, right pass.
Aronson, no good.
Second time I think we've seen Aronson airball a three. Very uncharacteristic of him. It's still the right pass to find him trailing for that three. Only a 6-point game, especially in 2 straight plays that Bobby Stewart has done an outstanding job. He struggled a bit in the first half defensively, picked up a couple fouls inside, but there he's done a great job staying vertical, forcing a missed layup without drawing contact.
Halfway through this second half, Jumbos have been outscored by 7 in the first 10. Oh, what a move. Jalen Samuels fighting to the basket and will pick up the end one.
Unfortunate announcer jinx because that's going to be on Bobby Stewart. Not only does he allow the basket to go in, he gets a foul. I thought it was a bit ticky-tack, but again, you're going to get some of those to just rub the wrong way if you're a big facing a smaller shooter going up for it. Stewart's going to come out now for So that's not Gettings. I believe that's
Scott Gimesi, the freshman out of Fairhaven, New Jersey. I believe this is his first action. Might have played a little bit in that game against Framingham State. Rebound fought for, controlled by St. Joseph, and Jackson Jr. lays it up.
You can't have that, but I also think they missed a foul down there. I couldn't tell who. I believe it might have been Martin there that was holding someone down low with a little arm bar. There was definitely a missed call. Either way, you cannot allow that off a missed free throw.
Cohen to Henry. He's guarded by Martin. Driving across the baseline. Reverse layup, no good.
Henry's got to find Thorner in the corner there.
Oh,
what a pass.
What a move, what a pass.
Coming.
Jackson Jr. with 2 straight layups, and it is all of a sudden a 12-point lead for the University of St. Joseph.
Yeah, Lennon's going to call a timeout there for a couple of reasons. One, I think Theo Henry needs to recognize he gets a great first step on his perimeter defender, but there's help coming in the baseline. He had Thorner for a kick out straight ahead of him in the corner. Got to look for that kick out there. Can't take that shot. It's just going to be too difficult with in the trees there. Second, on that transition, got to have your head up. Have to be aware at all times. Multiple Jumbos defenders. That ball was thrown at their head. They could have had a hand on it. They simply were not aware of where their man was. That's unacceptable in transition. For a team that dominated last game in transition, it was 24-0, favored the Jumbos over Framingham State Rams. It's been much more even today, especially in the second half. Not sure if we have specific second half numbers. But we knew it was about the same at halftime. But either way, we've seen that a couple times, especially on the offensive glass. That these are the fundamentals we talked about for the Jumbos. It was do not allow them to run the fast break off turnovers or in general, and it was also win the defensive glass. We thought that would be easier done than said, given their height differential. So far, not so true. And Kinder remains on the bench, but even without him on the floor with a smaller lineup, we saw it on that free throw. Just really, really unacceptable to allow offensive rebounds like that. If you looked at the body language on the Jumbo's bench, a lot of heads in hands after that specific play.
Largest lead for the Blue Jays right now. It is 12 points.
Gettings has come back in. And Carson Cohen.
Thorner over to Henry. $12 to shoot, now 10. Thorner has to make something happen. They're going to call a foul, I believe, on Jackson, who tried to get past Gettings just a little bit too quick on the screen.
The Jumbos need to get the ball outside of the perimeter. I mean, they have the height advantage with Gettings down low, as well as Carson Cohen against whoever they end up matching him with, and probably Dylan Thorner as well. That's a height differential you have to exploit. The ball can't stay on the perimeter for 20 seconds before you see any action. And even there, the ball wasn't inside the perimeter. They got bailed out with a foul.
Thorner
much better
with a cut. Henry, left-handed layup is good. No whistle blown. And some contact generated there on the inbound.
Oh, wow.
They say that Sullivan was on the line as the pass was initiated, and it will stay right here on the Jumbo side.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, my eyes had gone up court, but it looked like there was contact with Henry that kind of might have forced him over, but they're not going to give it to him. It's going to stay Jumbo's ball.
And Sullivan kind of just in disbelief right now. That's not a call you typically see. Normally the inbound just one of the cleaner things that happens after a bucket.
Yeah, he was standing there hoping people maybe would just forget about what he did. Maybe the rest would just hand him the ball back.
It's a 10-point game. Henry working off of a Gettings screen. They're going to kick to the corner. Thorner thought about the three. Instead will work inside. Gettings is guarded by Samuels. 5 to shoot. Working to move in the low post. Looking to draw the charge. And Jalen Samuels will send it the other way.
Not so sure about that call. Samuels did have good positioning, but, it felt like he sold that a bit. When you have Gettings on Samuels, that, just that size differential, there's going to be a lot of contact. And, just as a bigger body, you may simply overpower the smaller body without actually causing a foul. Jumbo's bench didn't like it. I think he did a good job of selling it, but I think that's probably a no call in my book.
Jalen Martin gets past Cohen. Will fade away from the elbow. And the offensive rebound again collected here by the Blue Jays. They kick out. Jackson gets through. Henry, lay-in is good. Through contact, an acrobatic layup for Deshaun Jackson Jr.
Impressive finish over Gettings. He did a great job of using his leading arm to create separation without actually causing a foul. Really impressive finish. Jumbos need to get their act together on the defensive boards.
Cohen on a switch. Kick out. Henry with the pump fake. He stepped on the line.
When things are going wrong, they're going wrong, and that's something that just no one's fault. Henry needs to be a little better aware, but I mean, what do you do at that point? It was actually a good offensive possession. Henry was about to have a very clean step on his defender. Instead, it goes the other way, down 12 with time ticking fast.
Coach Linton mixing and matching his players with 7 left to go, trying to get something to work. Jalen Martin. Jackson Jr. has 9. And a step back 3, airballed. Marakis gets the board.
That was a poor shot. Great pass.
And a cutting Thorner will be able to lay it up and in.
That was a really poor shot. You're playing so well, there's no need to force that difficult shot. You give Tufts easy transition. That's a killer. Keeping Tufts in this game when the way they've played, don't belong in it.
Samuels is given some space. He'll look for a drive off the dribble. And the rebound is fought for. And a foul
going the
will
other
be
way.
called
Wow.
against Samuels.
I think. Maybe not.
Referees will talk it over. It looks like the Jumbos will get the ball. Foul against Jalen Samuels.
Bobby Stewart needs to come down with that ball. He has the height. He had the inside position with height. Just it's an effort play by Samuels right there, and you have to respect it at the same time. That effort shouldn't pay off the way the sheer differential in height that you have. Good effort by Theo Henry to save the Jumbos there.
Marakis on the drive, and he'll draw contact. And that's kind of all you need to do right now. Force these shots up, maybe hope for a whistle, hope for it to get down.
Maracas has done a very good job driving inside. We saw it in the first half. He had a couple easy layups off, or not even easy layups, but finished layup off transition.
Free throw short on the first attempt. Maracas with 4 points right now. Seeing some crucial play time late into this game.
Jumbos will be in the 1-and-1 going forward, so they can generate contact and get to the line. Oh, need those to fall, though.
Casey Martin loses control of it a little bit. He's guarded by Maracas, and will be able to get a hand on it. It's the freshman. It's going to stay right here.
Real good job by Maracas. Kept him square the entire time. Simply no chance to get even a shot off there, and he almost even got it deflected off him. Unfortunately, right off, just missed his foot. Stay with the Blue Jays.
J.C. Martin over to Jackson. Getting a lot of elevation on that jumper, but again, unable to connect. Maracas with the rebound.
Bit of an unorthodox form there. Really takes the ball and puts it right behind his head.
Trying to find a cutting Thorner again. He works his way into the low post and gets stripped by Sullivan.
It's the right idea with the height advantage, but have to be strong on the ball.
Oh, the quick give. And they're going to call an offensive foul. Theo Henry drawing the contact.
You know, you love Theo Henry's energy. We saw it a couple games ago in his career high when he scored 24. Not only did he do that, but he was just playing everywhere. He brought the energy. He brought the hustle. He's doing the same thing there. We saw him save a possession for the Jumbos on the defensive glass. He does so there again with drawing a charge on what was about to be an easy layup.
6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists on what has been a very well-rounded night for Theo Henry.
Yeah, he's earned, I mean, he's not a starter, but he's earned his playing time right now.
Blue Jays still trying to work off of this press. Kinder re-entering the game. Whistle blown, I believe, is another shot clock issue at the scorer's table. The Jumbos will get it on the sideline. Tufts need to go on a run right here, right now. Thorner on a kick. Henry has space, will look to drive, gets a little bit of room, but Kinder is once again there. You do not go down low when Alec Kinder is in that post.
He is a big man down low.
Kick. Sullivan on the pump fake, gets through. Aronson will draw contact and the whistle.
It's a foul. It's a foul. He's not. Jumbos aren't going to like it, but he was not set. Maracas came in from the side. It was pretty minimal contact, but he was very clearly moving towards the defender. Any contact there with the body is going to be a foul. They got that one right. Jumbos are in trouble. You know, it feels like they're just treading water at this point.
First free throw, no good. They will send in Casey McLaren for Tyler Aronson. McLaren has been hot from the perimeter and will get the Jumbos a little bit of extra size with the last 5 minutes of this game.
It kind of makes sense. Aronson, you know, is a perimeter scorer. He can create his own shot, but you have a lot of very good perimeter defenders on this Blue Jays team. He's only put up 3 points today. You can see the logic in trying to generate and trying to prioritize height over shiftiness right now. It seems to fit the matchup better.
Maracas working off of a screen. They find McLaren in the corner, thought about it. Jumbos reset. Thorner, cross-court pass. Henry for 3 is good. Theo Henry from downtown. Timeout called for Glenn Miller.
Theo Henry has been great over the last 3 games. We saw it for the home fans. The most recent home game against MIT, he was simply outstanding. We see it again today. Theo Henry, again, he's been everywhere, like you mentioned. He's racking up the stats in really all the categories, and that'll make it 9 points for him on the night. And he's been, I mean, you felt his presence most strongly in the last few minutes of the second half. Again, you see him, the effort on the defensive end, a couple strips, drawing that charge, diving in for an offensive rebound that Bobby Stewart wasn't able to corral. I mean, those are hustle plays. And then, of course, the key shot right there, off a great pass by Dylan Thorner, a great find. Those cross-court passes are really working for the Jumbos. 8 points is doable. They just have to keep up, most importantly, the defensive intensity. Cannot allow any easy points.
And the drive and kick, I think, is what the Jumbos will look to work off of right now. You saw it right there. Forcing defenders to the interior will get men open. Casey McLaren has been hot from downtown. Theo Henry just collecting another 3. And you would imagine that's the Jumbos' game plan for these last 4 minutes and 42 seconds.
Absolutely, and you're going to see who they keep out there. They keep out Theo Henry. They keep out McLaurin. You know, they're good perimeter scorers, and I think Theo Henry especially, you got to, I mean, he deserves the minutes at this point. He deserves to be out there, the effort he's given, and I think that, yeah, they're going to go into a press here.
St. Joseph's Glenn Miller looking to serenade the Jumbos into the moonlight and send the Blue Jays up to a 5-0 record. J.C. Martin is guarded by McLaren. McLaren playing great defense and causes a strip. Maracas in transition. Find the open man. McLaren from downtown will connect again. Casey McLaren, Tres Puntos.
Shooting 25% going into today. He now has 4 threes on the day. Great performance by Casey McLaren, getting the Jumbos points when they've struggled elsewhere.
It's a 5-point game. St. Joseph still able to control it.
That's an offensive foul. They missed that.
Martin drives inside, and the shot is broken up. Thorner playing a factor defensively.
It wasn't an intentional screen, but it was a moving pick nonetheless. I think they missed it. But the Jumbos' defensive intensity has been outstanding over the last 2 minutes. Great recovery to not get bogged down by the missed call with the key block.
Oh, cutting inside is O'Neal. That's a crucial 2 points for the Blue Jays.
And as soon as I say that, the Jumbos need to be aware of that. They've done that on almost every out-of-bounds play. It's looked on the baseline. It's looked inside like that.
Maracas drives inside. Oh, do not go in there. Alec Kinder on the stuff, working the other way. Is Sullivan, but it's going the other way.
Outstanding job. And Theo Henry, I mean, you can't say enough about what he's doing because his feet were, I hope they don't overturn this. His feet were out. He got his feet outside, I thought.
Pointing the other direction is Theo Henry.
Oh,
and they're going to overturn it.
You know, it's one of those things, so it's actually it is a misconception that your feet can be outside the perimeter if you didn't establish position, outside the restricted area, but you still have to separately establish position. So even if your feet are outside of the restricted area, when the contact is made, if they deem you didn't establish legal guarding position, it's still a block. I simply thought he did. And I thought at the same time, it's one of those things you see with replay review, you know, is there clear enough evidence to overturn it? It looked like to me that the baseline ref had the clearest view, and he called an offensive foul. Can we get a VAR?
Dan Glorioso's got a pretty good angle down there on the baseline.
Yeah, and as you may or may not have seen on the replay, it looked like he was able to establish position. I understand if that's the initial call on the floor. I don't understand coming in from a different vantage point and overturning it. I just wish the baseline ref was more sure of himself. You know, what happened to confidence?
It's an 8-point game. Stewart's
got
on the mismatch. Has to loses control of the ball and unable to convert while guarded by the 5'9" J.C. Martin.
I assume it looked like J.C. Martin might have tipped it from behind. Stewart needs to find a way to take advantage of that matchup.
Oh, and now a cutting Martin on the inside.
Travel.
And that's a travel.
All right, 8 points, 3 and change to go. Jumbos they need some points here. Really do.
3 minutes to go. They're running with this 5. Maracas and Henry alongside Thorner, Stewart, and McLaren. The freshman has been that primary ball handler for the Jumbos in these closing minutes.
And notably, Aronson continues to sit on the bench.
Kinder falls to the ground. McLaren back over to Henry. 15 to shoot.
Too much perimeter play. Get it inside.
Oh,
there we
spin
go.
Move right to the inside, and it goes down nonetheless.
I don't think they're going to count it.
They call a blocking foul up front on Jalen Martin.
Yeah, there is a dribble afterwards. It should be a 1-and-1. Great move out there, though.
I mean, we saw Kai Champion last year, the true freshman, have some really nice stuff. And again, Jumbo's doing some good job with their recruiting process. James Maracas looking like a natural.
Get that
first shot of the 1-and-1, no good. Kinder able to control the board.
Kinder again, but Maracas has played great, but that's 0 for 3 from the line. That's 3 points that the Jumbos really needed right about now.
Tufts needs a stop to keep themselves in this game.
I think Aronson might come in for Maracas, probably based on that free throw miss. Aronson being a great free throw shooter.
Jalen Martin, cut inside. Kinder up and in, plus the foul.
He's been outstanding. I mean, just everywhere. I'd say equivalent to Theo Henry, but even on a more pronounced level right now. Kinder is everywhere. He's been a monster defensively. I think it's 2 or 3 blocks, and now the and one finish when it matters most to put this game to at least 10. Although, not a great free throw shooter. Made his first one of the season just a little earlier. We'll see what happens here.
15 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks for Alec Kinder. Free throw no good. Jumbos need to score on this drive.
Great move by Thorner.
Ball is deflected. It's going to stay right here. Aronson alongside Gettings have re-entered the game.
It was a great initial move by Thorner, but I think he might have been better if looking for someone to swing it to. There were still 2 defenders he had to beat after beating the first defender.
Henry looking for somebody off the inbound.
Nope.
A risky pass, and it's picked off by Martin.
Can't have that space, and Gettings was essentially right next to Aronson. It was supposed to be some sort of pick play. It didn't work. You've got to space better. You can't have that many people on an inbound play like that. It allows someone to rotate. That's exactly what happened there. It was not the primary defender on Gettings. It was someone else who rotated and picked that ball off.
Timeout called by Glenn Miller. The Jumbos seemingly have the opportunities on the offensive end, but just haven't been able to turn those into buckets down in these last couple of minutes. 10-point lead, certainly still in the realm of possibility, but you're looking at a really tough hill to climb.
Yeah, I mean, just doing quick math, you have 23 seconds, so that gives you, even if you shut them down, you get the ball back with a minute 59, so you're going to have a 10-point deficit at minimum to close. Sorry, in a minute 51, so you're going to have a minute 51 to close 10 points. It's doable, but you're going to have to play really lockdown defense, and you're probably going to have to, I think what they're going to work on here is fouling strategy. It's that part where it's inevitable that if you're gonna win this game, you're gonna have to do some take fouls, some intentional fouls. We'll see what they come out with and how they set up the defense here. I mean, you imagine with a team that's so methodical like the Blue Jays, you'd think they're pretty ready. They're pretty much ready, to sit back and let the Jumbos come to them. They've taken 17 shots at the free throw line already. They've made 10. Jumbos have yet to hit 0 for 4 from the free throw line. I mean, 10 points, that's the difference in the game.
Martin will inbound to his brother. Gettings gets a hand on it. Loose ball picked up by Martin. Deep 3, Ryan O'Neal, dagger. 2 minutes to go, a 13-point lead, and Ryan O'Neal with a clutch 3 to put the St. Joseph Blue Jays up by 13.
Ryan O'Neal has hit a couple of huge shots. He now has 12 points. He's hit a couple big layups. He's hit a couple big threes. We saw an and one earlier in the first half. He's been really, really quietly having himself a great game. And yeah, 13 points to the minute 55. Not really where the territory you want to be in for the Jumbos. Obviously you need points here. You're going to see a very tight press after, no matter what happens.
A well-fought game. But again, just this second half really has been all St. Joseph. The Jumbos, I believe, just checking right now, outscored 37-23 so far in this second half. That is nowhere near the offensive numbers that a team of this caliber has been putting up over these past 5 games.
It's not, but the 37 is what really stands out to you. With a minute 55 to go, some more points inevitably coming for St. Joseph. They're going to be way ahead of their pace, season pace, in the second half. That's a killer. Because this is a team that St. Joseph's that prides itself on its defense, but we haven't necessarily seen the offensive output of a great team. They're showing you that they have it, and they've really taken it to the Jumbos, a team that only allowed 39 points last game. And unrelenting on the defensive end with that full court press, even up 13. Most teams would be happy to sit back and let the Jumbos shoot their way out of it.
Jumbos have to move quick. Give and go inside. Thorner draws contact, no whistle. Ball will stay here.
Yeah, Thorner got hit.
But again, another 10 seconds off of that clock. Jumbos would likely need a quick 3 and then a turnover right off of the inbound. Give and go. Thorner from the corner. No good.
You'll see that tight press. Oh, he's out. That's not a block. Yeah, good. Good defense by Carson Cohen there. You know, a lot of times I'll call that a block, but what he did is he mostly got out of the way. He allowed the ball handler to carry himself out of bounds rather than he create body contact, kept it to a minimum. I like that call there, giving it back to the Jumbos, and it's really good individual play by Cohen. Great cut.
Cutting inside, Thorner with the right hand. Off-balance shot is no good.
Two really good play designs right there. Unfortunately for the Jumbos, just couldn't get shots there, but that was a great job by Thorner. Everyone in the arena thinks he's going to go for the three-point line. He makes a jab step and then steps the other way. Had his defender on skates. Unfortunately, just couldn't finish the little floater.
At the line shooting a 1-1 will be number 4, Jalen Martin.
Quick foul by Cohen off of the rebound. Jalen Martin will head to the line, 1-on-1 situation with a minute and 23 left to play.
You know, we had a little comment from the stands just below us. Someone on the Tufts side yelled, "You got the shooter here." The comment was, "No, you don't." And not sure how that'll play out here, but unfortunately for the Jumbos, a lot of times they frankly haven't had the shooter or whoever's been on the offensive glass. I mean, they've been dominated on the offensive glass despite their height difference. I mean, if you look to things that the Jumbos can clean up, that's got to be number one.
Aronson extra feed. Henry from way downtown, off the mark.
I wonder if the Jumbos will keep fouling or let this game play out.
Henry tried to get some contact. No, up and in. Miss on the lob there by Kinder. The ball sails out of bounds.
You know, we are Jumbo fans at heart, but that would have been pretty fun. See that alley-oop. I mean, Kinder, of all people, he deserves it. The way he's played, I mean, if anyone in this arena deserves to finish with a thunderous jam to end the game, it is him.
Jumbos will fall to 5-1 on the season, as St. Joseph will pick up their 5th straight victory of non-conference play. Again, continuing their streak of playing against opponents that have received votes in the Division III men's poll and coming away with victories every time.
Yeah, you know, this team is very, very good for a team that frankly started 5 years ago. I mean, they developed their program out of nothing. Obviously, with Jim Calhoun at its helm for 3 years, that's a benefit. But, I mean, this team has been consistently good for every time we've seen them in Cousins.
Yeah, and this is a very experienced St. Joseph squad. A lot of grad students that took that extra year of eligibility. And now finally some of the fruits of Calhoun's labor paying off.
Yeah, to echo that point, that as going into this game, top 7 players get as far as minutes played. That was interesting. The top 7 players as far as minutes played are all seniors or graduate students for St. Joseph's.
As Martin will draw a little bit of extra contact here.
He'll go to the line, and I imagine at this point reality is probably set in for the Jumbos following this possession. 40 seconds, 16 points. Hate to break it to y'all, but it's not happening.
Pretty hard-fought game, though, especially in that first half. The Jumbos, again, leading after the first 20 minutes. And again, you know, this is a very strong St. Joseph team, ranked number 3 in the country for a reason.
I mean, you're going to look back and say giving up 40 points in the second half is the killer. I mean, Jumbo's obviously only scored about 23 or so. That's not great in and of itself, but they only put up 34 in the first half, right? But to give up 40 in the second half, after you played pretty solid defense, kind of a killer. You're going to look to 2 things. You're going to look to 1, fouls, too many free throws given up. We talked about that at the beginning of the game. You can't allow this St. Joseph team to get to the line as they did last game. Unfortunately, they did again. Second thing is rebounds. Jumbos had the height advantage. That's got to be the area they win, and they simply didn't.
Henry fails to connect, and with about a second differential between the game clock and the shot clock, you imagine this is it. Jumbo still playing some good defense. Glenn Miller saying, play this possession out. Kinder. Over to Feldrop. He lays it up and in, and that'll do it. Final score. They're going to blow the whistle again for fun.
A lot of clock issues today. clock shouldn't be running off the made basket, I think, in this. Yeah.
The Jumbos.
That will do it.
Jumbos get routed in that second half. After leading in the first, final score, St. Joseph 77, Tufts 57, as the Blue Jays will pick up their 5th straight win, and the Jumbos will fall to 5-1.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, you look back at last year where the Jumbos started off so slowly, you say, you know, 5-1 is very good. It just felt like they left something out on the floor today that they really could have. I mean, the game was within their grasp for much of the first half. At the beginning of the second half, you know, they went on a couple runs. They cut it to 6 points. It was 53-47 at some point. It felt like they were getting back into it. And then, you know, what really might have shifted momentum, that charge call down there. It was 53-47. They reversed that charge to a block. I mean, obviously, you can't point to a single play. The Jumbos got outclassed in the second half, but that play was really a momentum killer, and I think the wrong call at that. And, you know, they'll look back and they'll say, especially on the rebounds, I mean, second chance points were 17-6 in favor of St. Joseph. Rebounds overall were offensively 19-12 and 31-26, both in favor of St. Joseph's. I mean, frankly, that can't happen when you're going into a team that starts 2 forwards at 6'4".
Blue Jays proving why they are the number 3 ranked team in Division 3 will take a 20-point victory over the Tufts Jumbos. That's going to do it for us here in Cousins Gymnasium. For JumboCast, on behalf of everybody here, Henry Stahl working the keys, Scott Blatt alongside me. I've been Andrew Howe saying good night. We'll see you on Saturday as the Jumbos will take on UMass Dartmouth.